Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 14th of November. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, we're in the home straight. I can feel the end of the year coming at us like a steam train. 5 auction weekends to go.
Home straight didn't help much.
Speaking of home straight,
didn't help much with reliable Dame.
Yeah, let's just talk about Oaks Day, shall we? Because a lot of our friends and family had money on that dog that you actually dressed up as a horse.
Yeah.
Come on, tell us about it. Tell us about the run.
That guy that punched the horse I've got a meeting with at 4 o'clock today. No, it's not true. Phil, it was a leader-dominated track. And the trainer said...
It was a leader-dominated track.
And our horse comes from behind, and the trainer said, look, it's a leader-dominated track, and that gives us some problems today. It was race 8, number 8, and we joked about it with him, saying it's lucky. He said maybe it will come 8th, and guess what happened? It came 8th.
How many in the race?
Perfectly symmetrical. Well, it's funny because there's prize money all the way to 8th.
Yes.
And I watched the replay, and because we just beat another horse, that I thought, did we come 8th or 9th?
Yep.
And I kept watching it and with my mate, and I said, there's 3 horses behind us. We must have come 9th. And
so
anyway,
are you telling me the horse came 8th and you got paid a prize for 8th?
We did. We got prize
See,
money for 8th.
that is the politically correct world gone mad. You know how this world is breaking down because every child at every egg and spoon race has to win a prize.
The footy players don't win or lose, do they?
Correct.
Yep.
So they pay a prize for coming 8th, which in your race was second last.
No, it wasn't. It was, well, I thought it was 4th, but as it turned out, there was a horse all the way down the track that didn't finish the race. So we did come 8th, and we did get prize money for 8th. We got the sort of prize money you get for winning a race in the country.
Yep. So just out of interest, what did this horse cost?
I can't remember, Philip, and I don't want to say. It's a tasteless question.
Anyway, viewers, the more he loses, the longer he has to work, so
Sure.
it suits me perfectly.
What I can say is I'm speaking to the Register of Racing in terms of the horse names, and we're going to change its name from Reliable Dame to either, we've lodged 2, Unreliable Dame or Not So Reliable Dame. But keep
Never Reliable Dame, why would you back me?
That's a bit too long to fit in the race book. Philip, let's talk about the weekend that was, because it was a humdinger of a weekend. 83%. Put the towers up, the industry average was.
It was 71%, Gary. As we said in our sales meeting yesterday, we have the most amazing team, but we have the most incredible procedures and the ways that we guarantee that we always smash the industry clearance. And I think if we were to go back through this year's 2017's GPTV episodes, you'll see that I reckon 9 out of 10 weeks in a row, or 9 out of 10 times, we've smashed the industry clearance.
Talking about GPTV episodes, I've got to say, Philip, now I'm not quite sure which one is correct here, that last week's GPTV had one of the highest viewing numbers of probably GPTV's history.
Yeah, I was waiting for this to come in.
It just happened to be, it just so happened that you were not on the show last week. So it's just quite interesting that the numbers went up a lot. I saw Nora, who's a watcher, spoke to me at the auction at Takapuna Road.
She was very impressed.
Said it was one of the best shows she'd seen. And many people were commenting, Philip, on what a great show it was in your absence.
So viewers, what Gary's really saying is the times that I'm not on GPTV, the ratings go up. But if you were to deconstruct what actually happened last week, is that when I'm not on the show, you've got to get a guest of enormous prominence and sophistication to carry my absence.
Is that right?
So yes, I'd be the first person to say, Gary, that last week's episode of GPT was excellent. I thought the interview was terrific.
Oh, thank you.
I think that Julian was a tremendous sport.
Yes.
And certainly there is no question that when I'm not on the show, you have to go far and wide to get a talent that can carry the show like Julian did.
And if you've watched,
thanks, Julian.
If you've watched this show for the first time, and notwithstanding you don't really know the whole history, go back to last week and you'll see a great show with the interview of the block of Julian Crest, the producer and creator of the block. And what a great guy
he was. Good sport, wasn't he? I thought that he gave plenty of himself. I thought that the questions were,
Sharp,
questions that both you and Jeremy wrote. Yes. I thought that you delivered them the way I asked you to deliver them. So I thought, basically, whilst I might not have been there, my thumbprint was all over the production of that show.
You can claim credit for the great ratings in your absence if you want to. Let's talk about some of the highlights from the weekend, because there were some beauties, Phil.
Gary, we had a very busy Saturday and a very busy Sunday. How good was the weather? How nice was it to
when
be
the sun comes out.
out and about? Interesting though, I'm finding that we're doing more and more auctions inside, even on beautiful days, because you just can't get people to stand too long in the sun anymore.
Well, not only that, but you and I are both whiteys. Neither of us have ever had that beautiful olive skin that we so envy, Philip, and we just don't want our face basically bubbling and festering during an auction. It's not a good look. Phil, we started off on the weekend in Clive Street, as the South Africans would say. Clive Street, Murrumbeena, Philip, sold for $1,530,000. Very popular. Phil, I was in the Avenue for a property that was unlivable. You could not live there. But still, people love those sort of properties because you can get in and just tear them apart. Anyway, thank you to state trustees that employed us to sell that property, Philip. It was sold for $532,000, well in excess of the actual reserve at $495,000, which was in our range. Phil, one of the auctions that was an interesting story that we need to talk about is in Marlborough Street, Philip. The price is undisclosed, but the story is brilliant because we were the fourth agent. This has happened other times. You were the fourth agent to get hold of that property.
Yes.
And lo and behold, the only one to sell it.
Well, according to the vendor, the three previous agents were not able to deliver even an offer that he could say no to. So it was really a great thrill. Well done to Leon Goose and Fitter's team, who delivered an incredible result.
Goose and Titter, what are you going to call him? What are you going to call him?
Shout out to Leon Goosenfitter and his team, or as Siri would say, I'm going to call Leon Goosenfighter.
Yes.
I think we've mentioned that before, so it's getting ridiculous, but it was tremendous to get that property away. What's next, Gary?
You did a great job. Well, you did a good job. I've got to compliment you in St Kilda Road, Melbourne, Philip. You know, it was so many years ago, we'd never sold anything. We just looked at those buildings that were named after you, like Kingston, and we thought, wouldn't it be a dream to just sell one property once here? And now we're on a roll. We're like the St Kilda Road agent. Go figure.
Gary, shout out to the vendors there, most delightful people that entrusted us with the sale there. We're on the 16th floor there, Gary, with the view, which was just quite incredible. It was quite funny, actually, because I'm doing my spiel, and the apartment's on the 16th floor overlooking Faulkner Park. And I was talking about how majestic Faulkner Park is and how genteel it is. And I said, speaking of genteel, there's a cricket game going on just beneath us, so we were watching. Everyone was looking down at the cricket game, and I said how genteel and how lovely to see a game of cricket. And at that point, I drew breath, and at that point, the entire cricket match went, "How's that?" Because they'd actually bowled and caught somebody just at the point where I'd stopped.
It's like you set it up.
It was brilliant. So that $150 I gave the captain of the cricket team right on cue. It was brilliant. It was lovely.
All those people dressed up as cricketers went back to their usual lives.
I've got to tell you that I'm not at the stage of life of ready to scale down from a family home into an apartment.
A lot closer.
But I've got to tell you that I could live in that apartment in a heartbeat. They were quite stunning. Views incredible. We do viewers have another one coming up in the building, so if you missed out on that one or haven't actually looked at an apartment in Kingston, give Sally Zellman, Darren Krongold a call because we've got another one coming up in the building.
Hey Phil, 8 Takapuna was a very strong option.
Takapuna,
the price is undisclosed. The vendor, who we must respect on this occasion, has said that they do not want the price disclosed, but we had interest in the range, which we thought was I think it was 1.7 to 1.87 was the range.
Around the 1.9 mark, Gary.
Reserve was within the range, as we would like it always to be, Philip. We can't insist on it, but we do ask vendors to do that. Anyway, sold for well in excess of the range. You did a great job and well done. Congratulations. Campbell Road, Philip, that price is disclosed. Sold for $995,000. A strong auction, 3 bidders, and most delightful vendors. So happy with the result. And about to drop a baby, and I just want to get
about
some
to drop a baby.
About to deliver.
About to give birth, Gary, to a baby. You don't just drop a baby.
No. Okay, I suppose you don't. Well,
what do you think this is? This is Neanderthal times where she's just walking along the jungle
you should never drop a baby.
And a baby just drops out of her.
You should never drop a baby because what happens is, I spoke to your mum about it, we won't go there, but you should never drop a baby, right? Hey, Phil, 16 Virginia Court, that one pumped. Price sold, $1,805,500.
How much do I love Virginia Court, Gary? We've had tremendous success. I reckon we've sold about 6 houses in Virginia Court over the last 2 years.
Interesting, you know. Someone said to me, actually my son said, "What's going on in Virginia Court? Is something wrong there, Dad?"
Well, there is the freeway coming through.
Exactly. We probably should disclose that, shouldn't we? No, but what happens is properties get to a certain era, don't they, where you sort of establish and then the next generation moves.
Well, if you think about it, Virginia Court was a subdivision that must have happened back in the 60s because the great majority of the houses in that street are these lovely 60s style houses. And there's a generational changeover happening there now,
Shift,
Gary.
Philip.
Yep.
Shift. Phil, the other sale that we made, which we want to talk about, didn't get to auction because I was getting very excited to auction it, but never got the chance. It was in Potter Avenue.
Yes, Gary.
Congratulations to the vendor. Well done to Darren as well. It was an expression of interest, Philip, that then became an auction.
Yes.
And it sold very well.
So interesting, viewers.
There's
We
some people
had an expressions of interest campaign that didn't give us the result that we wanted at the close of the expression.
Correct.
So that day, after consulting with the vendors, we immediately scheduled an auction campaign for some 3 weeks later.
We did.
And we went on with the momentum from that expressions of interest campaign to a successful sale. So shout out to the vendors, who are the most lovely people.
They are lovely
and
people.
congratulations to the incoming people that are from
Sydney. Is what I was going to say. Yeah, Sydney.
So they
buyers.
sold a 1-bedroom apartment in
That's right,
Sydney
exactly
and bought a
right.
massive
Next to
house
the
in
airport.
Melbourne.
Yeah, exactly right. Congratulations to them. Philip, we've got a thumping weekend coming up. So much happening. And we're in that really exciting time now.
Gary,
Because the cup's over. It's like, bang, we're in it next 4 or 5
Do you know,
weeks.
it's a very exciting time, isn't it? Because we're full bore now, really, right through until...
Strap yourself in, Phil.
You know, the big question is, we've got 2 big auction weekends in December. First, there's the 3rd and the 4th, and the 9th and the
Third and the 4th and 9th and 10th. That's fine.
and the 9th and the 10th.
Dates have never been
but
your
we
skill.
might well go on for the 16th and 17th.
I know we
Gary.
are. We're building the 16th of December.
Yeah.
So if you think you want to sell this year and you missed the boat, oh no. The 16th of December is going to be a vibrant day. And we've got a twilight auction. We've got a beautiful home.
Yep.
I think Carrington Grove is going to be a twilight
Yep.
auction amongst another.
Love these twilight auctions, viewers.
Yeah,
If you're thinking about selling this year or February, March, April of next year, while daylight savings and summer is pumping, why don't you talk to us about a Wednesday or Thursday evening? We generally do our twilight auctions around 6:30, 7:30 in the evening, and you've got the market to yourself. On the weekend, you can have hundreds, if not thousands, of properties, but on a Thursday night, you'll be one of few.
Jump on board. Plenty of room on the
I sold a
bus.
property of mine on a Thursday evening, Gary.
you
Remember
once?
when
I
I
do
had
remember
that
it, Phil.
property
I
in
do.
St
Yeah,
Albans
which you
Avenue
never
in
sold,
Caulfield
yeah.
North, which I regret selling because
You
it
did.
tripled in value since I sold it.
It did. Well, it took
Anyway.
you to get out of the street for it to go up, I think. So
Street went ahead leaps and bounds.
We've got 19 auctions over 9 suburbs this weekend. An exciting weekend. Let's review
Let's
them, shall
have a
we?
look at what we've got, Gary.
We kick off with triple auction action, Philip. We're going to be in Boondara Grove. I love that leafy
What did you
tree-lined
call it?
street. Boondara Grove.
Boondara.
Yeah.
It's Bundara, Gary.
Well, you say Boondara, I
Well,
say
no
Boondara.
one would say
You say
Bo-
tomato, I say tomato.
It's
tomato,
it's
tomato,
not
potato, potato.
Boon. It's not Boondara,
Let's call
Gary.
the whole thing off.
It's Bundara Grove in St Kilda East. I love this property, this lovely English style property that's been renovated beautifully inside. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. Fabulous courtyard garden. And viewers, if you can buy a property with a courtyard, when we're talking about apartments or villas, they do add substantial value. Let alone livability factor, Gary. High livability factor. Payne. Yes, we must have a property in Payne Street.
Payne Street, 703 Payne Street, Caulfield North.
Yes.
That's part of our triple auction action at 10:30.
And Gary, this is one of the recommended styles of real estate that we get people to buy because it's a single-story villa. This one's been beautifully renovated, 3 bedrooms, I beg your pardon, 1.5 bathrooms, a car space, and an incredible courtyard garden. Beautifully renovated throughout, Gary. Should be popular.
But we're killing it in Bentley East. We're doing
We're
so
loving it.
well there. We're loving it. We've got
Loving
Jodie English, who's an expert. We've got Leon, who's doing lots there. We've got Leo, that's doing lots there. And so many
Viv,
other people.
yeah.
They're all
Graham.
happening. We're going to be Graham and Daniel
Yep.
Rees. All happening in Bentley. We're going to be in Tucker Road, Phil, 60B Tucker Road. That's our 3rd auction at 10:30
And
a.m.
Gary, what a stunning property this is. 4 bedrooms, no less, 3 bathrooms, and plenty of off-street car parking, single lock-up garage and some car parking in front. This is just a joyful piece of real estate because it's beautiful, architecturally designed, timber floorboards, stone bench tops. It really is a stunning property.
Double auction action at 11:30 and 12:30. Phil, we're going to be in Barrington Street in Bentley East again. You are going to stick around the area because you're going to be doing Tucker Road, then Barrington.
Gotta love a property with a red door, Gary, because it's good luck.
It is.
It's good feng shui to have a red door.
Yes.
This is 4 bedrooms again, 3.5 bathrooms, lock-up garage, a stunning home, Gary. And once again, that is the style of real estate which we are just selling more and more of.
Do you reckon
properties like that.
if we change the barn door, the stable door of Reliable Day, and we paint it red, do you reckon it'll win at 6 roads?
Gary, it wouldn't matter how many vitamins you pump into your horse. It wouldn't matter how much cocaine you get that horse to sniff before its race. In fact, I did see your horse with white stuff around around its nostrils, and even that didn't work. Wouldn't matter.
You have to try everything, Phil, these days to get your horse to win. But I'm going to be talking about trying everything.
Do they swab horses for cocaine?
Not the noses. I don't think so.
Well, one thing about your horse is that the stewards would never need to swab your horses, because why would you swab a horse that consistently comes last?
Well, I'm not sure that's true. There's nothing to swab it for. Philip, 18 at 9. It doesn't consistently come last. It 1-2 starts ago. I got
to tell you, it would take the Mexican cartel to own your horse there, because I don't reckon there's enough coke on the planet to get into your stupid horse.
If you have their phone number handy, just ask it. 18 at 9, Hudson Street.
Speaking of the Mexican cartel,
yeah.
Have you watched Narcos?
No, I haven't seen it.
What an
but I did meet
show. Scary.
I did
actually
meet
scary.
a couple from Mexico City the other day in a movie that they put out. And I've got to say, I was speaking to these producer directors of a movie and talking about Mexico.
This is a classic cinema, I'm presuming.
And they said that the Mexicans, Donald Trump's been terrible for Mexico. They've had a lot of trouble in Mexico, and they said the drugs are a big problem over there, Phil. And that was it. So and then when I said, how's the tequila over there?
Wow, you've just educated the world. I mean, no one knew that the Mexicans had a problem with Trump or they had a problem with drugs. Well, you are, I've got to tell you, breaking news on GPTV.
Hey, you won't find that in the form guide, Phil.
No, you won't.
18 and 9 Hudson Street.
Yes.
This could well be sold, Phil, but if it isn't, it goes back to the property where we first had a property.
Viewers, I've got to tell you, we've got a quote range, Gary, on this of the higher 200,000s, right?
Like that too,
viewers, Gary and I bought one of these together in 1985.
No, it's earlier than that, Phil.
No, it's not.
No,
Can't be.
It
No,
is.
I'm telling you now, I guarantee you I'm correct at 1985. I got into real estate in 1984, and we bought it the year
in 86.
Yeah, so we bought it the year before.
Maybe we did.
And maybe it was 1984. What's the difference? But viewers, we bought 2 apartments at number 9 Hudson Street, identical to the one that we're now selling for almost $300,000, and we paid $16,000 each.
17? $16,000. Good
yeah,
to sell them, Phil.
Exactly.
Yeah,
imagine if we'd just kept those 2, Gary, we wouldn't be talking on this ridiculous
we
show
wouldn't
and
need
having
each other anymore, wouldn't we?
You'd actually have been able to afford a horse that can actually do a lap of wherever it's running.
Phil, Rosanna Street, Carnegie, that's a beauty, 12:30. That one, Leo's auctioning.
Gary, again, another style of property that we just love. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage here, and immaculate inside. I've got to tell you, timber floorboards just never go out of fashion.
I agree with you, Phil. 2 at 24. The Avenue continues the timber floorboard theme. We love the Avenue. This one's in Windsor, Philip, not in East St Kilda. Don't get them mixed up, no.
Gary, what a great entry into the market. There's a lot to love about this. It's a 1-bedroom apartment with its own courtyard garden and a great address. The Avenue in Windsor is just sensational. Walk to everywhere you want to go, with High Street at one end and Dandenong Road at the other.
Adam Josky handles during Rose's auctions. Philip, our property of the week, where we are sitting in right now.
Gary?
What an exciting part of triple auction action at 12:30. How exciting is this home? We're in Corkwell Street, Malvern.
Gary, this is the most incredible location because you can walk to the wonderful shopping centre of Malvern Road, where there is the most incredible wine bar, there's incredible cafes. You've got a community village literally at your doorstep, complete with everything you need, from pharmacy to medical clinic, and you just walk out your door from here. But when you're at home, you've got beautiful bedrooms, incredible bathrooms.
Who built this house,
downstairs area, this was built, Gary, by Krongold Construction.
They do a great job,
and
don't they? They've got a big reputation.
They do, Gary, and it's just beautiful. But there's a lot to love about it because it's all surrounded by garden greenery, and that little plunge pool is the icing on the cake. So looking forward to the auction this Saturday, Gary.
First time ever sold or offered to the market. Very excited about this feature property, Philip, in Corkwell Street, Malvern, and it's got a perfect orientation too. I don't know if you mentioned that in your
No, it's leaving something for you to say, Gary, because goodness knows you don't have much to contribute.
I'm always happy to pick up the mess that you have, Philip, when you do something in an incomplete form like you just have. But what a great house, Philip. We move on to Brooklyn Avenue in Caulfield South. That is going to be your last auction.
And Gary, I'm I'm
Saturday.
excited about this property.
Yeah.
I dropped in to see it on the weekend because I'd heard so many people rave about it. It's just stunning. The owners of this property, he's an architectural draftsman by profession, not working in the industry anymore, but this is his own creation, and what a job they've done. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking, brilliant position there with the tennis courts on your doorstep, Princess Park on your doorstep, the cafes, the gym, great location there, but a stunning, stunning property.
Double auction action at 2:30 in Elwood, of which neither of us were involved in auctioning, Philip.
Yes, Gary.
I remember the old days. I'll take you back.
Take me back.
193 Brighton Road, Elwood.
Yes.
Do you remember when
Gary,
we worked
how can
in
I,
the 80s?
How can I
So
ever
that
forget
whole
that?
block, yeah.
Gary, that was really my introduction to real estate, and we were working for Talbot Diamond at the time, who were leaders in that strata refurbishment.
They sure were, Phil.
Under the watchful eye of George Kipper,
Yes,
who
g'day,
taught us
George.
enormous amount about
love
real
George.
estate.
Yeah.
Some of our
He
best
watches.
some of our best lessons were taught to us by
They
George
were.
Kipper, who still is going strong in the
Yes,
industry.
sure.
He's a legend in his.
sure
He is a legend of the industry.
No question.
But he used to. We'd sell in the trouble with selling these big blocks of apartments is that the consumer would have a look through all of the apartments, and invariably they would always buy the display unit.
That's right.
Because that was where the display furniture was, and it always looked the best.
It did.
So George would have us, we'd sell the display unit, then we'd all be back there after the sales
Yep.
meeting on Monday, dragging the furniture from
It's a-
apartment to
Fellas,
apartment.
put that bed upstairs now, so you're carrying the bed up the stairs, you carry the furniture upstairs. There was no outsourcing of that.
There was no occupational
Sales
health
agents,
and safety
no
either.
hats, no hard hats, no nothing.
I tell you
That's
what,
it.
back in those days, we learnt everything about
sure
real
did.
estate, and George was one of our early mentors.
It was. A little story there. Anyway, welcome, and it's George if he's watching, and thank you, George, for all your tuition. Phil, it was always a good block of flats. Now, if you want to see a great auction, come along to this one, because Leo Samuel's excited. Him and his brother are involved.
Yep.
It's been very popular, and rightly so, Phil, because Elwood's a hot suburb.
It
Take
is.
us through this property.
Well, Gary, there's a lot to love. The location is incredible. This is 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 under-building car space. Just a really, really good piece of real estate and an affordable price range.
Heavens to Dickens, Philip. We're going to be in Elwood again at 2:30. Darren Crongold's been hounding this property. Jeremy Rosen's auctions for him. And this is the most incredible looking building in Dickens Street, Elwood, Philip. One of 3 of our Elwood auctions this weekend.
Gary, this is a really good building, and this is a massive 1-bedroom apartment. It's the size really of a big 2-bedroom apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. But this is as big an apartment as you'll ever find. And certainly a terrific one.
Let's whip through our Sunday auctions very quickly, Philip. We've got 3 on at 10:30. We start off in Hawthorne Road, 9 at 19 Hawthorne Road. What a fantastic apartment.
Gary, we just love Hawthorne Road. We do so well there. This is a popular building because it's walking distance to Glenferrie Road and the Malvern train station, High Street, Wattle Tree Road, Malvern Central, and of course Caulfield Park down the road. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and a garage. So a really good building.
Simon Rodonic Auctions. Philip, we're in Hawthorne Gate on the corner of Estelle Road. Great apartment.
Gary, we love this building. We've sold so many in there over the years. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 car spaces. And that's on the corner of Estelle Road, a really, really good building.
Very special property in Northcote Avenue, Philip. This beautiful townhouse at the front of this very small boutique complex. Very impressive, great video tour. Talk to us.
Gary, it's a really good 2-storey town residence, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. It's in immaculate condition. Unusual features include a double lock-up garage, not a single, and then the most fantastic courtyard garden that is just a delight to sit out in, as I did on the video tour, Gary.
You sure did. Now, Phil, if you were going to buy a great investment, something that you had guaranteed appreciation, good rental, it doesn't get much better than a home on land in Elwood, Phil.
Gary,
we've got a beauty in Burn Street.
Gary, this is, well, first of all, Burn Street's a beautiful street. Secondly, there is no heritage overlay on this property, which does mean, subject to all of the usual council approvals, one could actually demolish this home and build a new home. But it's 706 square metres of land. It's actually got a very, very pretty home on it, and a home that's livable now but could be upgraded substantially. A terrific property, and unusual to find 706 square metres of prime Elwood land.
So Burn down there, I'll meet you there at 11:30. Phil,
Good.
that auction will be there together. Phil, we've got double auction action at 12:30 in Jenkins Street, Caulfield South. Jeremy Rosen's auctions this fine looking property.
Gary, we love Jenkins Street, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, another car space, immaculate throughout, a really terrific property. And Jenkins Street, we love that part of South Caulfield.
You'd have to be from another planet if you didn't know where Southern Street, Caulfield South was.
Oh, Gary, that was so clever.
This is
677 square metres of land, a very good, honest, livable home, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, double lock-up garage. You could move straight into that home or contemplate a future rebuild perhaps or a renovation. Lots of opportunity there.
And Phil, one of the things I love about that home is it's got a beautiful north-facing orientation, very private,
yes,
and very beautifully sun-oriented. Philip, we're going to be moving on to Omar Street at 1:30. This is a very interesting property, and we join forces to that one at that auction as well.
Gary, 5 magnificent bedrooms, 5 extraordinary bathrooms,
an indoor pool, what a
an
beauty.
indoor swimming pool and garden area. This is a big family home, one that's just built for entertaining. You could buy that home, cancel all future holidays because it's really like being at Club Med, Caulfield South.
It's an oversized block of land, and it's right at the end of Omar in that little court section, Philip. And the neighbour is somebody that watches GPTV, who's a mate, but a great neighbour if you buy that property as well. So get into that one or onto that one, to that one, 37 Omar Street. Philip, we bring down the curtain on Sunday. You can have a little breather at 2:30 because our auction's been sold. At 3:30 though, you have to roll up your sleeves. You're in the Golden Mile, Philip, 42 Aruda Road with Nicky Jano.
Gary, 1,101 square metres of land together with a big substantial family home. Having said that, we've got lots of interest from both home buyers and people looking to build a brand new home there. I've got to tell you, as a land opportunity, I think that this is probably the best building site in Caulfield North. We're in the middle of the Golden Mile, and the reason I say that, Gary, is because you've got a 45.12 metre frontage to Aruna Road, which means you could build a house there and take advantage of the northern orientation. So it's brilliant, but it has an Aruna Road address. Got a lot going for it.
Sure has, Phil. And that's a big wrap for the weekend. A juicy list of auctions, Philip, some really good properties. And as we get really deep into November, you know, it's sort of late in the year, but it feels like there's so much more year to go.
Yes, Gary, but
not...
I think in conclusion to this episode, I really do need to tell you, I think the show's stale.
Well, it was good last week.
And I think, no, and that's where I'm
I'm
picking it up, Gary. The show is stale. I think we've had universal feedback from viewers after last week's edition is that they want to get more interviews. They want to hear from more interesting people.
Less of
they
you?
would no. The feedback that I got, and it was overwhelming, that they'd said that they would like to see more interviews conducted just by me, and that they think that you are superfluous to the show, but they are asking for me to do interviews
it's hard, isn't it?
and just get you off the show.
You know, it's unbelievable. You're like a little kid. Now, last week I said to him, "Oh, we've got Julian Chris on," and you were like, "Oh, but I'm not here." It was like you just realised that, you know, the Easter Bunny or like Santa Claus isn't real or something. It was like,
What do you mean Santa Claus isn't real?
And now I've done it twice in 2 weeks. So it was,
Are you telling me that he doesn't?
No, I didn't say that. So it was like it
Always
was so
put a
shattered.
stocking
And
out by the chimney.
Now you're creating lies to try to rebuild yourself.
More
it's very sad.
viewers, ideas at garypeer.com.au. Send in your desire for Philip Kingston to run the show on his own with more interviews from interesting
positive.
members of the general
Send
public.
something positive. I might be an alias and send something positive to you, Phil, just to make you feel good, because I'm feeling sad for you. Now, look, it's a big wrap on GPTV. There's nothing to be sad about the real estate world, because things are very strong. Properties are selling well. The demand is still good. The year's going to finish good. I reckon next year's going to start well.
The year's going to finish good, is it?
Yeah, it's going to finish real good. Sorry, I shouldn't have said good. It's real good. It's going to finish real good, Phil. Is that better?
You are a peasant. We could have your own show, I suppose.
Yeah.
We could have GPTV Greyhound Racing News.
Ooh,
there's a segment.
There's an idea. I'll pick up one with that.
Gary will talk to you about the dish lickers.
Exactly. The one box always has an advantage, Phil. It gets hugs the rails. That's a big wrap on GPTV. We'll see you next week. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a beautiful week.